Welcome.
Welcome to Switching Reels.
I was going to say that. Hello, Trenton.
Hi, Connor. How are you?
Hi, Trenton.
I said that already.
Hi, Trenton.
Hi, Connor. How are you?
Welcome. What? No, I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
I'm so tired, man.
This is... Ooh, it feels like it's been a week, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
Yep.
But we're here now,
Yes, we are.
talking about someone else who also got emotionally exhausted from doing what they felt like they should do, so...
Wow. All right. Just going to take aim at me on the live internet.
Yes, sir.
Not that it's live, but...
We could make it live.
No, I'd prefer not to.
Okay, I was like, I can find a way for us to make it live. Pretty
Occasion-
easily.
Occasionally, we need to edit these down. Occasionally.
Occasionally. I mean, we just make sure that we mark them explicit.
Yeah.
It'll be good. So anyway, welcome everybody.
Yeah.
This is our Switching Reels marathon of the Ghibli films. A bunch of these are on the top 250. I don't know where Kiki's is on the 250. Oh, it isn't? On the 250?
It isn't. Which brings us to our first point. Kiki's delivery service should be on the top 250 list.
I would likely agree with that.
Like, I would kick other Studio Ghibli movies
films
off.
of this. Like the one we watched last week, he says. This one is just...
I mean, I wouldn't kick Totoro off.
Totoro's
Personally.
good.
But I would kick some of them off. Not for no other reason than Kiki's deserves to be on there.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe more than any other one.
Them some fighting words.
Okay, no, that's not true. Because Princess Mononoke is on there, and Princess Mononoke is... So this is our tier list. We have coins now.
We have a bunch of coins. We're missing a couple.
Yep.
But of a bunch.
But for spoilers, again, everybody knows this. For me, at least. Princess Mononoke goes right here. And I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen, but that is the top of S.
That is top of S tier. So let's go in place from the order that we've been watching them in so far. So this is Castle of Cagliostro, Lupin III. Connor's put it at the bottom of F tier as far as he possibly can before the token falls off. I put it at the top of D tier.
What is going to go below that?
Nothing.
You can't just not use the bottom tier.
Yes, I can. What if I don't want to fail anything?
You can't do that.
But I can.
I am going to rearrange your... I'm going to read it. No. I'm going to rearrange your tier list because you cannot leave an entire tier blank. That's not allowed.
Sure you can.
What if we called this E tier?
No. All right, next one was Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
I think we agreed that this was middle of C.
Yeah,
was that correct?
I think so. I think middle of C makes sense. Though actually, now that this is here, I'd actually put... okay, fine. I'll put him top of F tier, and then I'll put Nausicaa in the middle of D.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what?
It might change every single week.
I might have to agree with you.
It's just the vibe that I have.
It's high D for me, though.
Okay, yeah, it's mid D for me. Next one is Castle in the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Castle in the Sky is a mixed bag for me, so it gets top of C tier. It gets middle of C tier.
I've said that Castle in the Sky is S tier to A tier, depending on my feeling.
Mm-hmm. But the metal meets the road here.
The metal meets the road?
The asphalt is on our feet here. Put the pedal to the road. Put the pedal where your mouth is. Where's this going, my man? S tier?
Hell, I don't know.
Then I feel like top of A is pretty safe.
Okay, I'm going to take your top of A safe bet.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Mine's still sitting middle of C, so
yeah.
I mean... And then My Neighbor Totoro, I am putting at the end of S tier because
I'm putting it in the same
was
spot.
just it's such a good movie.
It is.
Oh,
And I think it's almost perfection without reaching any of the heights of perfection that I'm like, yes, the greatest of these movies reaches.
yes.
This is about where I'd put Kiki's. That's what we watched this week.
Nice.
It's about here, and the only
That's
reason it's not here is
middle of S
because
tier.
no, it's just below
Oh, okay,
top.
got you.
And the only reason it's not top is because I know that we're going to be watching Princess Mononoke as well.
Nice. Gotta save some space for a movie you know you're gonna put there. That's fantastic. I'd probably put Kiki's here.
Really?
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about it. And here is bottom of A tier. So we're gonna go talk more about it.
So before we go any further, I am curious. Enjoyment versus
technically
technical.
This movie is like a 10. There's basically nothing wrong with this movie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, there's very little, in my opinion. The pacing is really good. The character development is really good. The glimpse into this girl's journey to become herself and independent is just masterfully done. I just don't enjoy it.
I would say so. I'm. How much don't you enjoy it?
It's like an 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like
I would switch those.
This. Oh, you really?
Yes.
Okay, your enjoyment's a 10.
My enjoyment is 10. My technical is at 8 because I think in a lot of places the movie feels aimless.
Yeah.
And that isn't necessarily something that I have a problem with, but I think just from a technical standpoint, I can look at it and go, yeah, I get why that isn't perfect.
I see what you're saying.
So
I'm excited to get to the other side.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I was watching it again. I remember the first time I watched this movie, I was like, okay, this is a very well-crafted movie.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. I am a little bit sad, not necessarily bored, and I personally don't connect with Kiki very much.
Okay.
I am not the target audience for this movie.
I'm not either. I didn't watch this until I was in... I might have seen this when I was in college.
It was after I got married.
After, yeah.
When I watched this movie.
Yeah.
So sometime in the last 6 years.
Yep. That would have been for me as well. Sometime in the last 6 years.
Yeah, no, totally. So.
But yeah, I did not watch this as a kid. I know a lot of people loved it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it until now. So I think it was The Witchcraft. I think my mom was like, "Nah, I'm not actually." It was guaranteed that she just didn't know about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's that too. But yeah, and then Spirited Away. Where are we putting that this week?
Oh, Spirited Away is likely going to go. I think that's top of 8 for me.
That's another one that I'm gonna have trouble placing.
Yeah.
Like Castle in the Sky. I might put it just below Castle in the Sky.
Nice. Interesting. I did like it better than Castle in the Sky. So
that's fair. And again, I think I talked about why I think Spirited Away is basically perfection. And I think it's kind of what Kiki's is for you is what Spirited Away is for me.
Nice. Okay,
I can watch it and go, this is all perfect.
This is all great.
There are some small technical issues that I have with it, but there's enough that aren't technical issues or enough things that are done masterfully that I'm like, okay, you got an 11 and then you lost the 11 point.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't love Spirited Away like I love some of these other ones. So
totally.
But yeah.
That sounds great. Let's go over the wall then and talk more about this movie. So
yeah.
Welcome everybody.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. I liked your hi.
Hi.
So the thing we're doing here. Please like, comment, subscribe.
Actually, goodbye. For those of you that are leaving at the spoiler wall, I don't think anybody's starting here.
Oh, some people could be starting here.
Why would they be starting at the spoiler wall?
Because that's all they care about is spoiling for themselves.
If you're going to leave a comment, please leave a comment giving the exact point at which our actual podcast starts.
Yes, please. I'd love that. So we are doing our tier lists. It's going to be here for another 6 weeks, and then we'll get back to the other IMDb top 250. But this has been fun. If you like what we're doing, please let us know.
Yeah. This is another one not on the top 250 list. And also not one that was knocked off. I have never seen this movie be on the top 250 list.
Upsetting.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Past the spoiler wall. So, I want to go and talk about why I think this is the 10 technically. I do... he gets Lupin the Third ever closer to the edge, as close as possible.
I mean, let's be honest. This one's basically not a Miyazaki movie. I'm not gonna be that harsh.
Sean's fired. Miyazaki, if you're watching, I don't know if Connor's sorry.
You know what? I love enough of his movies besides this. I am willing to hate one.
I hit the quota. You got as much as the quota
exactly
from Connor as you're gonna get.
So this will lose us some subscribers, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Do it.
So it's the same line of thought that I have about Critical Role.
Okay.
I have no interest in continuing Critical Role. I've listened to like 3 podcasts, and I'm like, that was 9 hours of my life that I'm never getting back. And I think it has everything to do with the fact that I do not like the format.
Really?
And I love enough storytelling formats that I don't feel bad about disliking this one.
Disliking this one. That's
right,
so funny. Like, what about the format? Actually, no, this isn't the Critical Role podcast. But
yeah. I'll finish that.
Do it.
I don't like listening to people play D&D. I either want to be playing or not playing. I don't like, for me, the enjoyment of listening to someone play D&D is like, dude, just cut out all the boring stuff and like write it down.
Exactly.
Like
we can go and watch the show notes.
Do what Nicholas Ames did with Kings of the Wild, and he just basically had a D&D campaign that he wrote out as a story after his friends played through it, and he's like, I just want this to happen as my story.
Go. That's fantastic.
So
actually,
yeah, that's how you do these things. Anyway,
nice.
In my personal opinion, I know a lot of people love Critical Role.
Yeah,
and I no shade, but
no, totally. I listened to a fair portion of the second season. I know that my wife listened to all of the first season.
Yeah.
So.
But this isn't a Critical Role podcast, as you've already pointed out.
We're talking about Kiki's delivery service. So
yes.
I think this is a 10. I feel like the plot and the theme, the central like thing that's explored in this movie is like coming of age, but it's coming of age for self-identity. Instead of like sometimes the story that you get from coming of age stories is like, this is just how the world is, kid, and you have to grow up.
Yeah.
This one is much less that.
Yeah.
It's a girl that is being put into the world as she is and then trying to figure out why she cares. And I love that.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very, very, very good story, even if I don't necessarily connect with it. And I think the lulls and everything are part of the way of communicating the, like, normality of that.
For me, it has more to do, but like the things that I think are technical issues with the story are more to do with the sudden changes in like either in Kiki's character or her sort of thematic direction. And as much as it's probably my favorite section of the story, the hard turn into artistic, like making her flying a parallel for artistic expression, and losing your joy in that, it felt way too sudden.
It was very sharp.
And yeah, I don't necessarily know that I can say technically that was well done.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That said, I do also really love part of that because, number one, anytime someone's telling a story about artistic expression, I'm immediately
He's
on
there.
board. For any of my friends that have read the Stormlight Archive, one of my favorite scenes in the entire thing is one of the early chapters with Shallan, because she sits down and she starts drawing in a library. And, like, it should be so boring. There is nothing about it that I'm like, oh yeah, that's like what you want out of a fantasy story. But just reading about her, like, passionately drawing and collecting all of these
Little
essentially
creation spirits.
Yeah, creation spirits around her as she's working on it, like, just hits my heart so hard, and I love it.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kiki's delivery service, when it does this turn, I'm like, I'm totally on board. I love it. And it reframes a lot of the earlier scenes in a way that I really like. Because at that moment you go, oh, all of these actually do fit really well into sort of this parallel that they've created. But until this point, the connection has never been made, even like foreshadowingly.
No, that is a really good point. It's a really, really drastic turn.
Yeah.
Like, we see her getting, like, sad with the deliveries and like having really good experiences with the people that are like, hey, deliver this thing for me, and then really bad experiences with the people she's delivering to.
Occasionally.
Or worst experiences almost always. Like the actual delivery of it, like, she loves the people aspect, but the delivering part she hasn't necessarily enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like her first delivery with the kid with the bird cage and all of that, like, maybe she didn't feel great about that, but I don't really think that's the case. I think, like, the fact that the kid was like, this is stupid. Like, he's clearly happy about it.
Exactly.
He thinks it's dumb, but it's fun.
Nice.
Like, she's stressed out still because of the actual process of delivering, but I don't think, like, she delivers it to him and like, she feels like he's ungrateful.
Yeah.
Whereas with, like, the pumpkin herring pot pie.
Yeah.
Which, in the defense of the girl that is receiving it, that sounds like a terrible pot pie.
That sounds really good.
Really?
Yeah. Like the sweetness of the pumpkin along with the relative sweetness and also like little bitterness of the herring. I think it sounds great.
I'd have to try it, but because I can't say that I'm familiar enough with either of those flavors to just be like, oh yes.
You don't eat much pumpkin.
I don't eat much pumpkin, and I think I've had herring like twice.
I might be conflating a bunch of different fish to make my idea of what herring tastes like.
Yeah. Either way, the concept of it does sound really disgusting to me.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Anyway, maybe not defending her too much because she was also a dick.
She's also very mean. Very mean child.
But, yeah, I mean, we do see some of that, but again, this isn't connected to, like, who she feels she is as a person. Like, the reason she starts doing this is because she's like, well, I don't have anything else I can do, so I'm just going to do this.
Exactly.
Because I can do it, and I need something that I can do.
Some sort of monetary ability. Yeah, exactly.
So, do we want to do our summaries?
Yeah, let's do our summaries. Let's do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited about my summary.
Okay, cool. You want to go first?
Okay, yeah.
Do it!
All right. Kiki's delivery service is about a 13-year-old girl who leaves home. And her parents are completely fine with this, by the way.
Fine with it.
To go freeload in a new city where she immediately becomes a criminal and then sets up a delivery service that as far as I can tell, has zero paperwork associated with it. And then she delivers a whole bunch of things for people who pay her onto the table, and she is stalked by this kid that she eventually falls in love with, Stockholm Syndrome style.
It's very intense thoughts here.
And then saves the stupid child from falling off of a dirigible that he, for some reason, thought it was a good idea to hold on to the rope that was attached to it, endangering the lives of literal thousands while he does it.
You liked this movie?
Yes, I did like this movie.
That's fantastic. Okay. Basically, it's a giant movie about, like,
I'm sorry.
fraud.
Her best friend is a misanthrope.
I can't remember what a misanthrope is. It's not a lycanthrope, because I know those are werewolves.
It's someone who hates people.
Ah,
Just all people.
Nice. Good.
Yeah. You have a misandrist who hates men, a misogynist who hates women, and a misanthrope who hates both.
Who hates throats?
Thrope with a P.
Oh, that's sad. Could have worked perfectly.
The P is for people.
Nice. Beautiful. All right. Okay.
Welcome to Switching Reels.
Welcome to Switching Reels. Okay. What is my summary? Kiki's delivery service follows a young girl who, as a, like, coming of age, you're an adult now, Kiki, go to a new city so that you can find love and a husband or something. She's
sent out for MRS degree.
Yes. So she travels with her very talkative but also kind of sad cat to a hay bale, and she sleeps in the hay bale, and the hay bale takes her to a city. The city is one that she likes because it has no witches in it, so they must have gone a really long way for us not to have found any witches. Or there's something to be said here about, like, the
Burnings.
Industrialization of how industrialization just, like, really destroys magic, which could also be true.
Yeah.
So she gets there, she does become a criminal. She commits some business fraud. Or sorry, I could probably just tax evasion, but
also evading arrest.
Also evading arrest as a 13-year-old, which, like, send me to juvie, whatever. And then through a couple deliveries, finds that she's really disenfranchised with her life, gets really sick. The last thing her cat says to her is, "We should probably eat." And she points to some food, and so the cat goes and eats some food. And then that makes him a real cat instead of a talking cat, which is the saddest part of this movie. She wakes up and she's feeling better. Oh no, her cat can't talk to her anymore. Now she has to go figure out, can she fly? She can't. So she goes and talks to her artist friend that she made after the crows attacked her. We don't know when that happened. We do. And then after a very nice heart-to-heart, goes back home, still can't fly until she saves the boy she loves that we've been talking about none of until this moment.
He's a stalker.
Is he a stalker? Like,
he hardly knows her.
That is true. He does hardly know her. I feel like he's just opportunistic, like many boys that age are. He sees her on the side of the street. He lets her go. No, he doesn't. She flies away.
Yeah.
Sees her carrying groceries. He lets her go. In that case, he could have followed her there. Then sees her fly away again. Is like, hey, who's this girl? Does very much forcefully put himself on her for, like, hey, let's go to this air club. But
this air club.
Air club. We love the air. Let's go to the air, he says. That's his dying wish, is to go to the air. Literally.
He does also ask the woman that she's staying with if he can know everything there is to know about her.
Exactly. Which I don't think she tells that much, because she sends Kiki to his house.
That's true.
So I feel like he got bamboozled in the information department.
Fair.
And then, like, you said Stockholm, and I'm like, there's no kidnapping.
It's not Stockholm.
Where's the kidnapping, Connor? There's no kidnapping.
It's not Stockholm. It's what is it when somebody like forces you to be around them to the point that you start liking them?
My wife. That's her modus operandi.
Okay, so he Machias.
Yeah, there we go. That works really well.
Even after they've told her multiple times, please leave me alone?
Yes.
My goodness.
Didn't need to happen with me. I already knew I liked her.
Yeah.
But has happened with other people.
It didn't happen with me, but that's because I didn't tell her, please leave me alone.
Exactly. And you're pretty much here to stay by that point.
We didn't know that for a fact.
We didn't.
You did?
I needed you around forever, Connor.
Well, thanks. That's
You're
very
welcome.
sweet of you.
So what else is there to talk about in this movie?
Okay, so this doesn't fall into anything else that we
Lovely.
usually talk about. What country are they in? Because I was thinking about this the entire time, and I think it's brilliant
Yeah.
that it fits like 3 different countries, or 4, come to think of it, and they're all blended together so well that it doesn't feel incongruous.
Yeah.
Incongruous.
Sweden or Poland?
Really?
I think so.
That was not one of the ones that I had.
Nice.
So you look at the map.
Yeah.
The map looks very Spain.
Does look very Spain.
The rooftops also look very Spain.
Does look pretty Spain. Skin
The
color doesn't look Spain.
roads look very French,
Yeah.
and the architecture looks German.
Yeah.
This
That's a
is
really good
just
point.
this country is Europe.
Is Europe all in one place? That's fantastic, actually.
And I think that that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make it feel like it has to be grounded in one place. It is almost universal. Oh, also the coastlines look Irish.
They do. They look
Like-
very Irish. That is very true.
I love this movie.
It is a very cool movie, and the world building is really nice. I'm very sad that she stops being able to hear her cat
Yeah.
at some point. She's probably heard this cat for as long as she can remember. She gets flying back, but no longer can speak to her friend.
Well, she does. Well, we don't know that for sure. We don't really get a whole lot of dialogue with her after she starts flying. Like, Gigi just isn't around for the entire sequence from the point that she starts flying again to basically the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So there's a very good chance that she can talk to the cat again, and I think it's implied that the magic is connected to those two things.
But then why can't she hear him say something at the very end when he climbs on her shoulder?
We are no longer from her perspective at that point. She is talking to cameramen.
But she's still talking, and we're from her perspective.
Yeah, but
If we're from her perspective, we should hear the cat.
The cat comes up and meows, and then she laughs like he said something.
But she looks sad for a second.
She does?
Yes, I think she looks sad. Ooh, this is probably... I need to just go watch the last few seconds again. It looks like she looks sad for a second, and then she accepts the fact that she can't hear the cat because that's just part of growing up.
Interesting. I don't know. I feel like this is one of those things that's very, very open to interpretation.
I think you're totally right there.
Like it's one of those all right, another big side tangent. There is apparently a pretty big disagreement between Tolkien scholars about whether or not the Balrog has wings.
Whoa, really?
Yes, because in the book, Tolkien describes the wings, but he describes them in such a way that they may or may not actually be a part of the creature. They may just be something that it looks like
It has.
It has.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so, like, you'll notice in the Lord of the Rings movies, or I guess just Fellowship and the beginning of Two Towers, that like the wings aren't part of the Balrog that is decidedly solid. They're kind of formless. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
They're probably a little bit more solid than someone who thinks that the Balrog doesn't have wings at all would like, but
yeah. No, totally.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did always remember as a kid being like, hey, why doesn't it fly?
Yeah. I always assumed that it was because he was being
stabbed,
attacked, and like you look at any movie with like dragons being attacked, and it's like
they can't fly.
They don't fly while they're fighting something that's above them.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it makes it's a bad idea to turn your back on it.
Yeah.
So anyway, this isn't a Lord of the Rings podcast any more than it's a Critical Role podcast or anything else that we actually talk about.
A movie podcast though, so that one was closer.
Yeah. I suppose.
Critical Role has TV shows, but has no movies yet.
That's true. And I have seen the TV show.
I have not.
Oh. It's fine. Kiki's Delivery Service, though.
Kiki's Delivery Service. Serving bread to your home, but she never takes bread.
What?
I don't know. Like, she's running out of a bread store.
Yeah.
Bakery. There it is. But she never delivers bread.
That's not true, I don't think. Yeah, that's not true. She delivers baked goods to Homeboy.
Homeboy!
Yeah.
Tomboy.
Tombo.
Sure? I think it's Tomato.
No, it's Tombo.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do we see what's in the bag outside of a note?
Nope.
I think the entire bag is one note.
I think that it's something baked because she would know something was up if there wasn't anything
heavy in the
bag. And she works with enough bakery items that she would know the difference.
No, that's a very good point. But she doesn't comment on it. She's also distracted at the time.
She's not distracted at the time she receives it.
She's distracted at the time she receives it. She can't fly.
She's not that distracted.
She's pretty distracted.
She has accepted the fact that she can't fly.
And is sad about it.
Wait, no, that's the part where she can still fly at that point.
No, she can't.
It's just before she loses her ability to fly.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, because that's when
Oh, wait, she doesn't know if she can fly.
She hasn't lost her ability to fly yet.
But she doesn't know that she can fly. She also doesn't know that she can't fly. Because she takes it by foot.
She takes it by foot.
And this is after she recovered from sickness.
Yeah. But she takes it by foot, and then she meets up with Tombo.
Uh-huh.
And then when they go off of the cliff, the reason they stay in the air, it's heavily implied, is because she was there and she's magic.
Yeah.
And then when she starts feeling rejected and like she doesn't fit in anywhere, and she is also dealing with the issues of feeling like her last delivery was not appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point when she loses her magic. She loses her magic on the beach.
I don't think she does, because she doesn't hear the cat talk to her in the morning after she wakes up. And he does show up multiple times.
He does. I don't remember.
Muse.
I don't remember if he shows up that morning, though. I could have sworn that she points to the bread, says, hey, yeah, go do that. I don't know if we see the morning after she gets better.
I guess I go watch again.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we do.
Oh my gosh. This is a great movie.
Just these little details. It's always the magic system, actually, that
that's true.
The two of us get hung up on in some way.
That's true.
That's really funny, actually.
And I also think that this is, since we've brought up fantasy things enough times already, I have no problem just jumping into this as a fantasy podcast for a brief time.
Let's go.
I feel like this is one of the most perfect ways to do a soft magic system, and I love it.
Yeah, actually.
It is a power that is somehow connected to like your
spirit,
your spirit, your joy, your love of the skill, and your belief in your ability to do it, and all of these kind of things. Like it's a very sort of murky, like what you can and can't do.
Yep.
But it's so focused on this one magic system that it doesn't feel like, oh, Kiki could just do anything. Like she's kind of limited to flying.
Yeah, that's all she can do.
Yeah, and it does a great job of taking, okay, she's limited to flying. When she loses her ability to fly, you feel like everything has been torn away from her.
Everything.
And then when she gets it back at the very end, like, I do not care if this is a movie that is for you or not, your heart soars a little bit. When she picks up the broom that is just an awful broom to be flying on. Broom. And she flies on it in the middle of the street. And it's gorgeous, and the sound design is perfect for it.
So good. I love the silence while she's focusing on it. Yeah, no, completely agree.
I'm tearing up a little bit just thinking about this.
It's so good. No, I completely agree. That is a wonderful scene, and you're like, oh, good, my girl's back. And it's lovely.
Yeah. This is one of those movies that just hits me in like a really really emotional spot.
Yeah.
I also just, there's enough little things in this that make me love it even more, like her deciding to fly with the geese, and then like the geese all get blown away,
pulled over by this gust of wind.
Right. And what's incredible about it is it also like foreshadows that the wind is dangerous here, and it's something
that's a really good point,
creates the major problem at the end of the movie. And it also does a great job of pushing her from, hey, this is a easy first delivery kind of thing, to, oh no, delivering things is hard.
But you don't get an easy first delivery. Like I thought that was really nice.
Right. Yeah. And it introduces so many things so well in such a short period of time. I thought it was brilliant.
Completely agree.
And it's so pretty all the way through.
It's so pretty all the way through.
This is another, like, what did we say was, what was the last one we watched? Totoro. Totoro, we were like, yes, this is
Miyazaki.
This is undeniably Miyazaki.
Exactly.
This one, I'm like, this is undeniably Miyazaki, and I don't really think I can see any fluctuation in, like, how beautiful it gets from here.
Absolutely.
Like, with Totoro, it felt very beautiful, but they used a lot of the same scenes. They, or not scenes, but a lot of the same settings.
Absolutely.
Multiple times.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of travel in Totoro.
Yeah. And it's pretty slow paced all the way through. This one, even though it is relaxed,
a longer
runtime. But even though it's relaxed, it is a longer runtime, and it feels like it's much faster paced. Which I think is more difficult to make people go, wow, that's just absolutely beautiful.
So good.
You get a little bit more to work with when you have a slow pace.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I think that this movie is perfect.
It's
in most ways.
Very, very, very good. I wish I liked it better.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. I don't have anything else to add, I don't
I don't
think.
think I do either.
It's just such an emotional movie.
No, it's a very good one. If you haven't watched it yet, please do.
Yeah.
It was very good. So
even Trenton, who didn't like it, still likes it.
Still likes it very much and would highly recommend it. What is next week? I think we're finally at Porco
Rosso. Yep. You can stop guessing it.
Yes, I can. Yes. Not on the top 250, and also one that I have never seen. So,
oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
never
I've seen Porco Rosso. Yeah, I've seen it.
Nice.
And I enjoy it.
Oh, cool. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Go watch The Red Pig.
Oh, yeah. Yep. You are somewhat familiar with it.
Slightly.
You are probably as familiar with it as I am with The Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
Which is not very.
Yeah. That's exactly as much, actually. So.
Anyway, yeah.
How do we end this?
How do we end this, Trenton?